I was going to watch the Trump stuff with you, but me and Julie decided to relax first. And I'm watching it, and I almost feel like they think we're just that stupid now. I mean, I don't want to bash anybody if you're a Trump or a non-Trump, or support you if you're a Trump hater. But I think the government now has pushed it a little bit in the wrong direction to where they actually think we're this stupid. Either they think we're this stupid or we are this stupid, because there was a lot of lies that were being told. For anybody who's in the economy, you know that inflation has not died down. You know that things are not good. I'm not sure what side of the aisle he was speaking from, but it certainly wasn't the everyday person. Um, but it's the same rhetorical nonsense. I even told Julie, you know who I miss? And even though I know they're controlled opposition from the central banks, I miss Trump of 2016. Like, where's that Trump at? They're not even, or 2018, I mean, they're not even trying to lie to us anymore. It's like when you watch sports, like I can't even watch them. Julie's actually, I think, surprised that I don't watch as much sports the last couple of weeks now, because it finally got to a point where I'm like, they're not even trying to hide the rig now. Like before I would watch it because they're trying to make it look like they're not rigging it. Now they don't even give a shit. That's what it's like in politics. They used to at least try to lie to you. They don't even care anymore. He's giving us off $1,800 to the military members. Okay? $1,700 to the military members, but he's cost them way more than $1,700. Way more. That's what they do when they want to buy you off for a small amount. So basically they paid the pennies to the ones that they're basically sending off to God knows what. And but that's okay. Hey, that's fine. He gave $1,800 to military members, or $1,700. I'm happy about that, but at the same time, am I supposed to just say, "Oh, he's a great guy," and he didn't tell us he didn't just talk full of shit just now because of that? I don't understand. That's the other thing. Like somebody just commented on it. Like to keep saying we were in the worst economy ever under Biden, and now it's 1 year later, and he says it's the best. It doesn't make any sense. Anyhow, I don't want to keep talking about that. It is my birthday today, so I thank everybody for all the happy birthdays that I've seen. I've seen it all through the day, so just thank you everybody for the happy birthday wishes. It was an interesting birthday to say the least. Filled with a bunch of nonsensical nonsense as usual, but that's usually the way it goes. But it was still a good day. It was still a good day, but the politics side of it, it's just hey, I gotta tell you something about the shootings. You guys need to cool it on all of that, because everybody acts like their lives are over because of all these shootings you're seeing. It was worse when we were kids. It just wasn't publicized. Like, come on now, guys. We didn't have internet. We couldn't see it. The shootings they don't show you, the shootings they show, the stuff that they're not, like they're using the gun control. But I don't want to get into the political stuff because everybody's just going to leave. So let's talk about crypto. But that whole gun narrative, like everybody who buys into all of that, like literally all I can say about that topic is go ahead, turn everything back in. And then they'll run after you with knives, turn your knives in, they'll walk at you with screwdrivers, ban the screwdrivers, they'll throw shoes at you, ban your shoes. I mean, come on. The gun's not shooting anybody, okay? We're such a bunch of safe pussies now that it's too much. Good evening. 9:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I guess in the year of 2025, instead of being wussies going into 26, stand on some principles. Otherwise, we can all just sit there and what are we going to do? What are you going to do in 2028? Government, please take this from me. I'm so unsafe with my weapon around me. Please take away my personal privacy. Here I can trade crypto, but you better make me safe. So here, give me some biometrics while you're at it. I can't get rid of my cold, so here, inject me with the... I mean, come on. Where does it end? I know I have no filter tonight. That's
I
the
can
problem.
tell.
I do too.
Yeah, you could easily say something.
As Julie said, I have no filter right now, so I better be careful. So here we go. So XRP right now, in the title, it's kind of there's kind of a reason for it. I put XRP slide continues down about 7.6% on the day, 17.6% on the in the month of December, and down 40% since October 6th, roughly. So if we're down 40%, we would think at some point here, since it's been about 3 calendar months, not even 2 calendar months, well, 2.5 now, and we have not done anything of note. Normally, I would say that maybe this is where you double bottom, but with this fake out here, it almost guarantees that you're not coming up there. Unless we get some crazy volume come in, but more than... You don't really want this push up here because what we would have been playing is a double bottom, and at worst, you'd come up here to get rejected. We already did that, so it kind of front ran that we're probably not going to just go straight up from here. And then when Trump came on, the market initially started pushing up, and then by the time it ended, it was red again. You know what, Dirty Train? I actually agree with you. I actually agree with you, and I think I told Julie this a couple days ago, that it's over. People just, they want somebody to tell them what to do. Remember when we had this conversation on my tease school, was that last Friday? I said it's over because nobody wants to really know the truth. They just want to hide behind the fake stuff, and nobody wants to do anything. They just want everybody to tell them what to do. It's exactly what you just said, and that's why virtual reality is going to take over in the next 2 years. Mark my words. When we're talking here at the end of 27, 28, 2 to 3 years, virtual reality is going to be more of a plug. It's not going to be plug and play anymore. It's actually going to be on your frontal lobes. So, like, I feel like that's what we want. This whole world wants to be lied to, and we want to be told that everything's okay. While when you look out your front window, you're like, well, you know, this isn't what they're saying, but hey, everything's fine because we're in virtual reality. Who cares? I love you too. I love you too, my love. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of ironic when we're seeing what's around us and like how blatantly doesn't it scare anybody that nobody's trying to lie to us anymore? They're just doing it. It's weird. Weird. But yeah, it's true. This has been something that was put into place, I believe, 5 decades, 6. No, not 6. Like in the 50s, 60s. But this has been a generational thing. Wow, Axler taking a beating. I haven't even looked at it, honestly. I haven't even looked at it. And honestly, the last time I seen it, I think it had that little move to 13 cents. I mean, if it's taking a beating, way worse. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. This is what I expect to happen. All these things to start. Remember the liquidity wick? I think they're all probably going to start hunting that, which will be scary. I started to see it with Linnea as well. Linnea just can't garner anything. And look at this. It broke below 646, and that was our fear. Now we don't know. Did we just come right to 515? 497? Like, I don't know. Because it failed the uptrend. Like, this uptrend has been absolutely slaughtered. I mean, it's been pretty incredible what's going on here in crypto. It's been pretty incredible. SHX is barely holding on to 007s now. Like, look at this. It filled out this technical drop now. Well, actually, it was 7059 roughly. It came to 7090, so now we're splitting hairs. So now that drop's been taken care of. Now it's, do we come to the wider part of this and finish this whole drop? I can't answer that because I really don't know anymore. I don't. This whole thing, I mean, I do know if it continues down this route, we knew it was going to be really ugly. Nick says, meanwhile, we are all trying to make as much money as possible in as short of amount of time as possible so we can be somewhat free when everybody else continues walking in the tighter slave shackles. Yes, but be careful with that mindset, Nick. I love what you're saying, love what you're preaching, but we got to be careful to not be victims of the moment and think that we have to do it in the short term. If we can do just a steady progression when everybody's, think about this. If you just made this year in crypto 25%, in this calendar year, not counting November, I'm talking about, because that's part of last year. If you somehow were able to make a 25% profit in crypto this year, you would be maybe not stoked, thinking that that's what you were supposed to do. You're not making thousands of percent. But look how many people lost 70, 80, 90% of their... I'm serious. And spot traders this year have lost like between 60 and 90%. It's not as hard as you think for that to happen. One misstep, you sell out, you buy back on a pump, it sells out again, you rebuy. You know, when it's dropping, you sell it out again. And then when it goes back, you make that mistake a couple times before you know it, you're down 50, 60% real quick. But if you could just make that progression, I always try to tell people this with crypto, if somehow you can maintain like a 15 to 20% per year average, and then in the good year, you run with the bull market because you're not in the buy sell moment because you don't have to, you're just waiting for it in a sense. Because you've bought that positioning that you know you're not selling now and it's gone down. So like that's, you're trying to basically survive these markets until you get to that 1 month of green. I'm dead serious. I've told people this for years. Everybody acts like we get these long bull markets, but in reality, in 21, it was 6 days for XRP. And it sounds so crazy to say. We had a 6-day bull market in 21. This year, we had about a 30-day bull market. And then the rest of the time, it seemed like a bull market was just trying to come back up. And then we exceeded it barely. But the whole bull market was literally that 30-day move in November to my birthday, December 17th. And, you know, now what we're trying to figure out is where is that position? This is why I come on so much. This is why I'm so dedicated. This is why I'm so passionate. I want to know when this next spot is. And it's got to be getting close here. If we're going to have any semblance, and I'm not saying right now it's close today, but I'm saying if we can get down, maybe 177 is that level, but I really think with what we're doing here that we need to come down there. I mean, 185, if we hold $1.85, I suppose that could be a small victory because we came down here on Friday, I think it was, last week. But I mean, even this technical drop points to this area. It's not like it's not reasonable to think it can come down here. And then if you just kind of put it sideways a little bit from here for the progression, I mean, it's almost dead on where it fell through. And that would just be the technical drop. And it's come all the way down here. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. We're going to need some help. Because what we did do is we did a lot of bad earlier today. When we came all the way up here for that fake out. Remember when I was live and everything was up 2% and people were asking me, hey, did you buy anything? I said, I can't. Not until it proves to me. And then by the end of 20 minutes later, everything was down. It had a big reversal. Like Linnea was down like 11% yesterday. I think it ended up being. Some things were down. It's crazy. John Page said, I retired in December after that November bull market. Beautiful. Beautiful, John. That's a story that I'll always love hearing. That kind of good, not good fortune, but that kind of good decision making. Because we're in a tricky time here. I mean, my goal one day, and I've talked about this, if we could ever get in the proper rally and time this right as a collective, I always wanted to have a universal location where we could all go. It's paid for. It's on. It's not like a rental house, but everybody can just go there. And just a universal spot. It's like community owned. You know, I always pictured it being like, hey, we did so good, and that would be something that I would buy, and then it'd be like, hey, come hang out here, and then it would be like this everlasting, you stay as long as you want. I mean, I just think it would be a pretty cool, but we have to get there, guys. Like, we have to get there. We're not there. Like, we can't build it as quick as everybody wants, even though it's a risk asset. It's a risk asset. So 95% of the people that try to do what we're doing, it's not going to work. You know, it's not going to work. So we've got to make sure that we're the exception to the rule. And there's always an exception to the rule. And I intend on being, and I've been so far when it comes to these markets, especially timing commodities and everything else at the same time. I've been the exception of the rule, to the rule. If there's 100 people walking around, there's only going to be about 5 of them that understand what's going on. And I would like to make sure that I stay in the know. And I'm not talking about this political nonsense while everybody's jerking each other off about which candidate's better than the other. Excuse my language, I don't want to be so descriptive. But while everybody's beating each other, while everybody's playing with the shellackies, you know, they're shellacking each other and they're telling each other how great they are. You know, or they're paying attention to the, hey, did you see what happened to the Kardashians? Or did you see what all these losers said and all these other people and, you know, what they put on TV? My Desperate Housewives, or whatever the hell they call these people now, housewives of the... I don't know what they call any of this stuff anymore. I just see all the stuff. But while everybody's paying attention to that, and I know they are, because darn it, anybody can tell you anything about Taylor Swift, or anything about the Kardashians, or anything about all these other people on TV, but they can't tell you anything about the federal funds rate. They look at you like you're crazy when you ask them what the T-bills are at, or what the 10-year government bonds, or they look at you like you're a complete moron when you tell them, we need, you know, your interest rates that you pay on your cars and that we pay on our homes, they need to go way up, and they look at you like, you piece of crap. It's privilege. I don't know who you're talking to. Privilege. Yeah, I'm about as privileged as the ant that walks down the street when he looks at all the big fish. You know, but it's the reality. It's like, holy crap, what are we going to do here? But while everybody's doing that, this is our opportunity. You know, when everybody begs the government for everything, this is when we stop begging. You know, and we take it upon ourselves and say, hey, we got a huge opportunity. There is a huge opportunity here, FYI. Huge opportunity. Oh, such a huge opportunity here. So there's got to be something going on here. There's got to be. So at some point here, and I think it's this next big drop that if this is the start of a big drop, and this ends up culminating with like, I don't know if it would be 30% total. And I mean, we didn't really, and a lot of things, how far did we drop from that green wick? So wherever that green wick started earlier, we can start it from there, but I don't even, that's not a big drop yet. For XRP, that's only 5.7% from there. Now, yeah, you can start farther from where we were at on Monday and Tuesday, and yeah, you can bring it down a little bit. And then other charts, they are slightly different where they're up, you know, it's another 0.5% drop on some, depending on what you're looking at. Because of where the price started, they're all a little off. But what if we did, like maybe, I'm trying to figure this out. Like if it finished this drop and it came to $1.75, is that even enough? I don't think so. I think what it would try to do, and I think Tanya is right too. We were looking at this earlier. She said pay attention to $1.60, and she's probably right. Look at this. With this wick hit, two of them, to get that third hit on this newfound support. I mean, come on now. I don't know if Tanya's in here, but I mean, how beautiful is she when it comes to charting as well? That's what I mean. Like, there's a few people that you need to trust in here, and she's definitely one of them. Now, I can make the argument that we could do this, and maybe it's, oh my God, it's a little bit lower. Big deal. Same. She set it out. I mean, look how close that is. That's right at $1.60. So, I mean, is that what we're ultimately trying to do? Is figure out this third hit here, downtrending support, create slightly lower lows, continue this, and then we go parabolic? Because if that's the case, I'm all in for it. Because look how the pattern's set up. And if that's the case, holy I'm telling you, if that's the case, that means that would be worth on 10,000 tokens, $15,700 right here when it gets to the bottom. By the time you get back to the top, it's going to be worth 40. That's a $25,000 move, or $22,000 move. No, it's more than that. What am I talking about? Yeah, that's more than that. That's a $24,200 move, roughly, right? No, maybe $25,000. Yeah, That's a $25,200 move if it bounces from there. And that, it doesn't seem like a lot. See, this is why we're in such a good spot. Listen, for XRP, this is why I encourage you to still hold it or buy it if you don't have it, if we get the right buy. If you can afford it, it's so unaffordable right now to buy $15,000 worth at $1.57 to get 10,000 tokens, or almost 16,000. But if you have it, these kind of moves are what we were waiting for. Imagine you bought it at 35 cents, it went all the way up to there, comes down, and when it makes these now this is big boy moves here. This is where XRP doesn't even need to move a lot, and you're going to have other things where you think it's moving as much as XRP, but because the capital isn't the same, they're not the same 160% move. We're going to eat if XRP does this big time. Oh, big time. It almost makes me wonder if we get to $1.57, if I shouldn't just buy another spare bag if I think it's going to hold and just run it up again so I have another one to sell. I'm dead serious, because these are the kind that dreams are made of if this holds. If it comes down there. Now, is it going to come down there and give us that chance? I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, if it does, oh, man. Hustle anyone who even has a 401k, no silvers. But they're doing the max possible pain here, so I think that this can actually play out. I really do. Like, this seems so logical to me now, because everybody's thinking with quantitative ease. I really feel this is in the air now. Like, there's a lot of people that are sitting there going, I don't understand. You know what? I thought I knew something about crypto, but I'm done. Do you know how many people have got to that mindset now? That means we're almost there. Do you know how awesome it would be if we keep dumping? I don't know what the crypto fear and greed index is, but I assume it went down today a little bit from where it was earlier at 16. Oh, for fuck's sake. See? The wrong mindset. Everybody was buying when they shouldn't have been before that drop again. See? It went up today. I mean, come on. By the morning, it probably won't be going up if this continues. That's unbelievable. They still got people by the whole the scrollies, but at some point, you know, maybe it will reverse. I really want it to play out the scenario I just played in front of you, honestly. I think that would be maximum capacity, like, for us to do some damage. Yep, I hustle harder than you. That's another one with gold and silver. Absolutely. That's the exact discussion I mean. You talk about real money and why it's a good store of value, because as the US dollar continues to tank, this is what everybody needs to understand though. When you're buying gold and silver, you're not trying to sell it every 2 seconds. No, that's a long-term thing, knowing that things are going in the wrong direction, you know? And it kind of sucks to know how bad it's going, to be honest with you. But yeah, I can't do a winning Wednesday buy right now because I know how much lower can algo really go. That's a good question. It's a good question. Right now, it's on the bottom side of this pattern, so it's got to at least come back up and retake this resistance that's underneath, because that used to be a nice steady support stream. It's actually it might be a little bit lower. I don't know why it looks like that. It is a little bit lower. I knew it looked, no, it's kind of, I hate when I look at this on the 45. Yeah, it kind of looks weird. It actually looks like it should be up higher. I don't know what the hell's going on here now. Because I could look at that 2 different ways now. I could even looked at that as a channel that broke down out of it. Like, I almost think that's how it was, and then we pulled it out back here to see if we could ride. because of the way it unfolded. See, it almost made it like a separate style pattern. After it fell out, it created another little channel there, and then it fell out. It keeps falling out of these little channels. That is pretty interesting when you look at it like this. Look at this. It like keeps creating these lower channels. Are we having fun yet? Like, is crypto fun? Wow, that's insane. It really is. It's creating it. It keeps creating these lower levels, and this literally created resistance, 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 support, support, uptrending, higher low. You had a low, higher low, broke through, high, high, high. So you wanted a higher high here before you made a lower low. You wanted to keep making those higher highs, and even here it failed to come back up. And now you almost put like a bearish flag in here. So yeah, see, I like how that's set up with these levels. It makes perfect sense. Wow, this is getting pretty interesting. But not just algo. It's not just algo, believe me. I know a lot of people leave when I switch off XRP, but hey, there's other things too. But the bottom of this, if we continue down this all-time trend, if we have to break all the way down, it's like 7.1 roughly, so... How much farther can it go? I don't know. I actually am very comfortable sitting here waiting for to see if we have any kind of confirmation to the upside or continuation down going into Friday. I'm very comfortable with that. So, you know, I can't tell anybody what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. I just feel more comfortable right now sitting here, watching, seeing if silver will break down at all. Because every time it seems to come down, now it's back over. Is it really? I was about to say it's down at 65, 60, whatever. That's what it was at when I set this up. Did it really recover again? Holy crap. Because I was going to say, is silver finally about to come correct? It's like every time it comes red and comes down a little bit, somehow it just pulls right. Like it came right back, tested down here, 65.48. I remember when it was at 65.57, not too long ago. That's what we got to see, because if silver keeps moving and gold, that means something bad's happening on Friday. Like worse than we think. Like gold and silver is the ultimate guiding stone right now. In between normal is manipulation. So hard to work with this shit. 50-50 chance of anything happening. No, I wouldn't say 50-50 chance of anything happening. I think we've been pretty on the money being liquid. I mean, it's 50-50. Yeah, it's always 50-50 because you don't know. But just from a charting perspective, until it overtakes this, we've been in a downtrend. Which means no matter where you buy, you're always going to end up farther down. Just like earlier. Some people bought at $1.88. It went up to $1.95, $1.96. No, $1.98. They're feeling good. And now here we are the same day. Even if you bought it, made a good buy at $1.89 and it went to $1.98, you're sitting there going, hey, this isn't too hard. That's like 10%. And now by the end of the day, you're sitting there going, wait a minute. I already gave it all back and it's still December 17th. What the hell is going on? 1970 Legend, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram and saying, or in here. And Tom's on me for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Our Buckeye, who's getting ready for the playoff, well, not yet, he's got to buy, but we'll be getting ready for the playoff and playing for a chance, you know, to play for the national championship. So, again, so good luck down there in Columbus, my friend. Says tomorrow night between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. we'll tell the story. That's when Japan announces their interest rate move. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it's going to be very interesting. And the Nikkei right now is down 505 points. The HSI is down 48.68, and the Shanghai's up like 30 points. The CSI is down... Ooh. Okay, well, it's interesting. They're token red right now. But yeah, we're definitely going to know by the time Friday starts. I mean, it'll be the Thursday candle still for crypto, but by Friday, by the time we wake up, we're definitely going to see some kind of impact. But that's why I expect ultra volatility going in. You know, and man, I really wanted to see like this weird drop happen leading into the announcement. Like, look at the couches are like the ceiling fell out or the floor fell out, and now we're in the pits. We almost got there. We held on here now though. We've held on at this level, but it seems like we hold on during the Asian hours, and then by the time the U.S. wakes up, they give you one last feel, and then they gut punch you, gut check you by the time you get to work. That's kind of what happened today. Everything was looking good. Asian hours, USA, we started to pump a little bit. Then before you know it, they dropped you on your gullet. UEDA gonna announce liquidity on XRP Ledger, XRP to 1K by Friday. Yep. Big Dog, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor, along with Frankie Fresh. Janine, if you're watching, we love you here. I love you. I love that you're a part of this audience. And we need more people like you in this audience. It says Frankie Fresh, this is my first year in crypto, but I've been doing a lot. Oh, I should, that's your conversation. The Cannabis Podcast, thanks for being in Tom's Army 6+ months with the XP Predictor as well. Smash that like button, he says. Yes, please hit that like button. 66 out of 109, so about 60% of the audience is hitting the like button. I don't blame the other 40% for not. I kind of was speaking, I don't know, speaking too, what do you call it? Too honest when I started, I suppose. But I think we've come back down to earth a little bit here. More humble in nature. Man, this is so ugly that it did that, though. Like, the fact Bitcoin did that is ugly. Oh, the XRP megaphone. I'm sorry. Look at me just ignoring it. Not on purpose. We've got a hold on this megaphone. We know as long as we stay below the hot pink, that's bearish. Very bearish. In real time, it's about that $1.76-ish we could probably hang out for. So that would be the target right now, unless we, for some reason, broke it down. So that's for the record. If you're new, that's our bullish territory. As long as we hold that area, we're fine. And we don't have to worry about the rest of this. Epic is 28 cents too aggressive. I don't know. I took Epic, even though I hold it, I took it off my screen because it was the only one that was doing weird stuff, and it was messing with my mind. And if you would have followed that, you would have lost a lot of money today because it was overrunning the market. But is 28 cents too aggressive? Maybe. Unless it comes down and it wants to hunt this October 10th wick, then no. But it depends if this is the start of some kind of breakout, because remember, volume predicts the price, and at least with Epic, we had a bring up of volume here a little bit. But we'll see how this continues. This is a very big test right now, because this is where it could actually reverse. You had this, you had a nice downturn. I don't know though. This could be a big fake out here as well. Less tokens, but it's not going to overrun the market. So one more drop by the market, this will just come down far. And this could be a perfect example in a couple days of buying something. Let's say you bought it at 47 cents, it goes to 62, and let's say it does come down below 47. This would be another perfect example of how everything looks good, and then all of a sudden it's like they just did that to entice more people, and then it just drops the hammer again. So I mean, I'm gonna keep looking at it, but I kind of want to keep it off the screen just for a second, because it was off the, let's just put it this way, it was off the pattern or off the rail of what others were doing. So now if the others do what it was doing now in the next day or two, that's what I want to see. But I don't want to be manipulated by that chart yet. I'm going to put it back on there. If one of these goes 10, 12%, I'm going to put it back on, because then I can see if it follows it. But right now it looks like it's doing its own thing, which means, I don't know though, because look, sometimes Oh, XDC, you buy support, sell resistance, buy support, sell until the pattern breaks down or breaks out. So right now, technically on XDC, unless this broke down, you could technically come out here and say, I'm gonna buy support. I mean, technically you could. And normally that would be the play. It's just I don't know. It's kind of ironic though, because last year on my birthday it ended the rally. It would be nice if this year on my birthday it started the rally, but you know, we got a lot of work to do. Nick, will we ever see sub 40 to 45 silver? Never say never, but with the way the futures is looking and the fact that Samsung, one of the biggest hoarders now of silver for what they're coming out with, they need like 1 kilo. There's so much stuff I don't want to get into. But basically, Samsung agreed to $69 per ounce a couple days ago from a Mexican silver mine. So the fact that they're willing to pay those prices, if it does, it's going to be a while. But I certainly sent something here. Like maybe I do sense something with XDC. But, I mean, you got to be careful, obviously. I'm not a financial advisor, and nor am I pretending to be one. Nor do I ever want to be one anyhow. Because that is, I mean, in theory, this is, I mean, it's above it a little bit, but I mean, you're basically, you're right on the support structure. So like, if you were trying to buy support and you missed it on the way up, now it's at support again. It does have a bearish cross there in the stochastic and the daily, which is absolutely something to be afraid of. That daily candle looks horrible right now. It's engulfing almost the entire way to start the candle to the downside. But I've seen these reverse just as much as I've seen them reverse in the past. Tom, at least this time around regarding the Japan rate hikes were oversold as opposed to being overbought. That's a very keen observation, Mr. Frankie Fresh. That's a very keen observation. And if you don't know who Frankie Fresh, that's Clam Bellies now. But because YouTube changed the names like they always do. It keeps us guessing. But yeah, definitely. Definitely. But what I'm seeing here is the fact that we could be starting something. I know it sounds stupid, but this could be the start of something. It really could. Now, if we finish rounding the bottom yet, I don't know. But we can definitely see on some charts, somebody mentioned it in the chat too, when you get into like the weeklies especially, you can start to see a little bit of rounding, but now the problem with the stochastic is we started to push way down again. But there's not much room to come down. That's the good news. You don't really have a lot of room. There's a little bit, but there's not a lot of room in the weekly. The monthly, though, is still what leaves a little bit to be desired for XRP. I acknowledge that because I still think the stochastic and the monthly, because of what it did in the daily now, it gives it the perfect ability to finish dropping the hammer right there. It kind of feels like. But I don't know if it's going to continue for XRP. I don't know with XDC right now because it looks up very similar the way that it could drop the hammer because of how it looks. The daily built back up too much. And now that it broke bearish a little bit in the stochastic, we really need to see how, if it pans out, anything pans out, because this doesn't look good right now to me. I know it was showing a little bit of green, but it still doesn't look good. Now, Nick, you would think they would price it in, but I'm telling you, there's no way to price in when they make a rate hike, and then we've got to sell risk assets to cover, the over increase and what's happening in like the bond market and stuff. There's exposure that needs to be collected and covered. And the government will sell out their risk assets to do this, to keep it look somewhat upright. I'm telling you, that's the first avenue. They sell out of crypto risk, anything risk asset. Anything risk asset. And that's just something they do. But I'm not discounting the fact that this has got to be pricing it in right now in some way. I absolutely don't disagree with that. It's just, I don't know we can never know the repercussions when the money's so tied into a financial system, so to say. It's just, it's not a good recipe for risk. It's just not, and not in the moment. But with a lot of depletion in other people's portfolios, which sucks to say, but unfortunately we're not dealing with anything that produces revenue. So the only way for us to make money is for somebody else to lose it. And it sucks. That's the truth. You don't need that for gold and silver. You don't need anybody to get killed. You just need the US dollar to get killed. We can all root against the USA dollar simultaneously, and that's all we need to do. Fortunately for us, it's gone down like 75,000%, you know, in the last 90 years or some shit. Remember, gold was only worth 20 bucks at one point. Gold standard 40 or 50 bucks an ounce, 40 maybe, at its peak. And now look where we're at. That's just the US dollar being devalued. And everybody says it can't happen like Venezuela. Isn't it already? Ask yourself, can it not happen, or are we already in the earlier stages, starting to more towards the intermediate stages? Never say it can't happen here, because it's all an illusion. The great country of the United States of America has presented to you, even my friends across the seas, you guys have been had. It's not what it seems. We are not what we seem. Even our own people are too dumb to realize it. I hate to say it. Our own people think we're still a racist society because they get told it every day. Our own people think, you know, that this stuff is happening on an... No, it's happening in cultures. Where my kids go to school, it don't matter what you look like. It don't matter. I'm just telling you. It don't matter. There's like 6 different nationalities walking at every Tuesday. I mean, that's what I mean. So all this racist bullshit, that's just a way to push us all in a conquer and divide mentality. It happens to everybody. It happens by circumstance more. If you're poor, you're poor. And if you live in the slums, you're going to get targeted. It's just the way it goes. Whether you're white, black, or indifferent, you're getting targeted the same. It's all circumstance. I wish more people could unite together, black and white. Indian, Hispanic, even Mohammed, if you're out there. But you got to believe the same. You got to have the same kind of faith. And I don't mean I don't mean like spiritually, yes. But I don't mean like, oh, you got to believe, you know, in the same religions and all that. I mean, you have to have the same faith that there's something more than you. There's something greater. We're supposed to be doing something more united. That's what I like. But I just lost 6% of the viewing audience for saying that, so I guess I should shut the hell up. Joseph Euler, thanks for being a very trusted person in here. And Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor, and gifted a sub here. How incredibly generous is that? Thank you so much for gifting a sub. And J-Lo, huh? Gets the gifted sub. Congratulations on your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. J-Lo, when we were growing up, was Jennifer Lopez, I believe, right? Is that who it was? Yeah, I think so. Not spelled with the L-O-W, of course. How's TT doing? Up? Did you feed him?
Yep.
All good?
Yep.
Okay. Which means he'll be coming out here soon? To come tell me to turn this off? He'll be coming to tell me to turn it off soon. I think it's Layla. Oh, Layla. What did I say? Jayla? That's kind of funny. Indeed, it is Laylo. And I'll blame it on my left eye. That was my left eye seeing J-Lo. Forget what I just said. Jaggy, welcome in. Very sound outlook. Nice. Like a wild horse that's been broke. Unfortunately, Mr. Stott, that's correct. Our people are mostly broken like a wild horse that's been broke. It's so unfortunate, but so true. And thank you for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor, my friend. Biotech says 275 to 290 sell. I don't want to say that. Oh, well, if it goes back up to 275, 290, I would hope that that's not just going up for the pattern former support as resistance. I'd like to believe if we go back up there, it's going to be a little more profound than just we got to get out. But you might not be wrong. We'll see when we get back up there. If we can round this and we can start to finish this off here, you know, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll be having a different tune and being like, you know what? Looking pretty good out here. You know, we got to see how it transgresses. You know, the transgression happens here, but we'll be. I'm gonna be winding this down short. My son, he just got done with his feeding, and I want to make sure that I don't upset him. Does he seem pretty awake now? Is he still shaking?
Well, he was sitting up.
When you started feeding, was he shaking head at all, or did you wake him up?
Yeah, he was shaking.
Okay.
How long did you
46 minutes, 47
okay.
minutes. Frankie Fresh says that I guess the people that borrowed from Japan will have to sell their risk assets to accommodate the rate hike. That right there is the question. How many people is that, and how aggressively is it going to have to happen? That's the data and the factor that I can't tell you. I wish I could. If I had that, I would know exactly where the market was going to go at the exact moment, you know, and know if this was the end of the dip right now. But it's all about what you just said, Frankie Fresh. It is all about what you just said. Oh, yeah, and they're going to have to sell a lot of treasuries, which is going to make yep. That's why I believe they're buying the bonds. I think they were trying to add liquidity into the pool. Go get my birthday kisses, yes. Oh, I see people talking about, you know, the hanky-panky. There will be no hanky-panky tonight. As the Lord and the man upstairs would place it. Julie started a normally time today on my birthday. So, there will be none of that. For any of you out there suggesting it. Steven said the same. Isn't it ironic? Let's see. Who said that? That happened to me this year, Tom. Ah, yeah, see? See, the past doesn't often rhyme, or it doesn't often repeat itself, but it does rhyme. See, it didn't happen to All in the Illusion this time. It happened to XRP Future Millionaire. What did she get me? Oh, something great. You know how I put together the outdoor little fitness thing when I stopped going to the gym because of all the nonsense? And the fact that I said I'll just do it outside. So I have my equipment in there. Well, it's not a lot, but there's a few things in there that I need that I love. And she got me it's the weight rack. So basically, for my plates, I had them on the ground in the corners. And she bought me it, so we just got to put it together. And when I put it in there, it's going to hold all my plates. And she bought a nice one. Almost looks like a Christmas tree. But it's really cool. I was not expecting it. I talked about it a few months ago and said, I really need this. And I said, I guess if I don't get it, you know, if I don't get it at all for Christmas or my birthday, because she always thinks of stuff too. So I said, I think it was in November. I'm like, I really need to get one. And I almost bought it. So it's going to make it look so much better. And it's got plates for like the 2.5, the 5, the 10, and the 25. It's exactly what I need. I don't have any plates higher than 25. No reason. Well, then again, you don't really want to have more than 25 anyhow. You know, I guess if you're the Hawk. And I guess the roided out ones need something more too, because they like to go heavy, 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 but then they can't walk later in life usually. I don't like to go heavy. I like to go more towards exhaustion and do less weight. I used to do it heavy loaded. I don't like to do that anymore at all. But I am 42 now, so officially. So I know I've been saying I'm 42 for the last like 5 months. So I know everybody thinks I'm 43. Even Mr. Stott said happy 43rd today. Some other people did in chat. Julie wished me, even though we were in the same house, she already said happy birthday. But then she sent me in Roman numerals in a text message, but she did 43. I tricked everybody. So I got a year younger. Look, everybody thought I was turning 43, and it turns out I just turned 42. Feel good. And now look, I'm only gonna be 43 next year. Bought myself a year. I think I just did the what do you call it? The Mandela effect on everybody. I was gonna call it the Mendoza effect, but that's the Mendoza line. We gotta stay above this line. Hard on the joints. Oh yes. The only benefit really is if you want to get bulky, but the only way to get bulky, the way that people want to, are lifting heavy. You got to take roids, and it's not worth it. And yeah, it's horrible on the joints. That's something I've learned too. Literally, I do 15 pounds on each side with all of my, like literally, you're talking 30 plus the bar, maybe 45 pounds. But what I do is instead of doing it like, because I could do 100, 120, I could do it real heavy, but now I do on the out grip 40, just on a nice pull down. Works your tricep, but a nice pull down, right? From the up position, you pull down with the bar. And then I do the inner grip, 25. Then I pull back out to 15 and work it in between the middle grip and the outside grip for another 15. And then before you get done with, you're talking, you've just done 100 different, but then that's got to be 4 sets like that. And then I invert it. So everything I just did, I do an inverted pull down now. The exact same amount. And then that's one exercise each. So then, you do 4 sets of that on each. And then you got 2 exercises done. But then you got to do some kind of curl after that. Do some curl and some lateral delt. Right? You just got to do stuff to combat it. But, No, Frankie, I know I'm 10 years behind you. But I often think about that. I literally blinked. I remember having a conversation with myself when I was 30 and said, by the time you're 40, you got to have all this stuff done because right now you're fucking it all up. And it wasn't necessarily my fault I was injured, but I was letting that keep me down. And I had to figure out a way around it. And now that I'm 42, it's like, wow, that 12 years. I'm glad. It's like you see those videos where they're like, when you get told that, when you have this thought, go, you have to do it. You do it. When this moment happens, I can at least go back to myself at that time and said, thank God you did it, because we'd be living in a fucking gutter right now if you didn't, buddy. No fault of your own, but sometimes you just gotta own it, and that's what I had to do. I don't know, it's scary. Like Michaela not having her in the house anymore because she's at Western and the honors program really hit. Because when she moved in with me with Julie, like Scarlett was 1 and Michaela was 7. Now she's 18, almost 19 in February at Western, living in the dorm. Scarlett's 12. And it's like, whoa. Whoa, what's going on? Slow down. Well, at least I'm talking people away tonight. People left while I'm talking. Hey, the heart-to-heart's not for everybody. In another about 2 months, half of the Moon Boy content creators will be shooting videos on underwater basket weaving and video games live playing Black. Yep. And they couldn't have picked the worst one because the Black Ops sales I seen on Black Ops 7 are awful. I can't play those games anymore. They're so bad. That's a big thing that I learned too somewhere along the last 42 years. And I'm glad I did. You can't worry what other... See, that's the thing. Because most people that you're worried about, they don't know. They don't even know what they're talking about. If there's anything I know... And I can use the knowledge I have now and ask simple questions and just know. Like, you can tell when somebody's all caught up in politics or all caught up in, like, the news stuff or all caught up in celebrities. That's, like, the 3 things. You got politics, you got celebrities, and then you got the person who incessantly watches the news. They usually all run together. But those are the 3 areas that you can see. And once you get, if somebody's either one of those 3, they're not an independent thinker, and you might as well just beat your head through the wall. Now, I'm not trying to offend anybody in my own audience. I'm just saying, if you got any one of the 3 out there and you try to have a conversation about the economy, like legitimately, like my conversations about the economy is, it's fucked. Interest rates are too low. We have too much debt. There's too much government assistance. We don't have enough money. Social Security can't even continue. Like, all this stuff can't happen. And then they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I would raise interest rates to 20%. Oh, and then I get all the back bull. It's like, listen, guys, do you like to go to work? Yeah? Do you like to have to do a little bit of less work maybe to try to make some money? Yeah? Would you like to not have to try to trade crypto to try to make 20% in a year? Yeah? Sounds good? Right? Year over year, we're looking at making, look what we try to do in mutual funds right now. We're trying to make 12% a year, so every 7 years we double. It's the truth. It's all we're trying to do. But you're telling me you wouldn't take a 20% interest rate? Why? Because you can't get your house? Well, you don't have to buy, But anyhow, if you had 20% insurance, like the premium rate, you get that in your savings rate, which means if you have $100,000 in the bank, you make 20 grand a year, and it's compounding. If you have $10,000 in the bank, there's 2 grand. You don't have, I mean, that's the point. That's what our grandparents did. Everybody, oh, they got all this stuff. No, they weren't stupid as us. Now we're just dumb. When you get so far removed from generations, you become stupid. Look how they erase history and people believe it every day. I watch it every day as they erase some of my history. And look, you want to know what the evil truth is? You know what the evil truth is? Is the people that are crying about everything, they're actually being manipulated by the people that they say are the evil people. It's a big agenda, and we all fell for it. But that's okay. Not all of us did. Like I said, there's always going to be 5 out of 100. 5 out of 100. People are like, what does it have to do with crypto? It has a lot to do with crypto. I do. I think this had a lot to do with crypto. I'm saddened that so many people didn't give a shit, but that's okay. But I'm going to end this live before we have 0 people left. But all right, thank you everybody. Watch XRP. If we continue down this, we have a technical drop to $1.76-ish. And then if it loses that, that's where it could be a problem. You'll know it's coming down there the moment that we lose $1.82-ish probably. Because if we come below that wick, there's really no reason to not hold. Or to not come down even farther. But it does have a technical move down still that we're still trying to figure out. I can show you the exact number before I leave. Where's this at? And that could bring an overshoot too. We'll see. See how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Thank you everybody for the happy birthday. We'll try to do better tomorrow. Appreciate you guys spending time with me.